We are back. Steve-alicious time. I did a video on the Casio A168, but I want to take a look at the 158 for a few minutes because I think it's also just a fantastic value for what you get and the look and the aesthetic and the functions, everything that you can imagine for $21 and change. Link in the description does help the channel. Let's take a look at what you get. You're talking about a stainless steel little bracelet, fold-over bracelet. It's fine. Let me tell you something. Normally with these, you'd be looking at something that feels like a razor on your wrist. But this configuration doesn't pull hairs as much as something like the ABL 100, which we're also going to do a video on. This is like basically shaving my forearm. So as far as pulling hairs is concerned, I like this little configuration for this stainless steel bracelet. You get the resin case. You get 30 meters of water resistant. This isn't something you're going to go deep sea diving in anyway. But a 33 millimeter case diameter. That don't treat that like you would a regular watch. Like, you know, my Seamaster's 41. Don't treat it like that. You can't look at it like that. 33 millimeters, but it's that squared off case design, so it wears a little bit better. Is it smaller on the wrist? Absolutely, but I still think because of the design, because of the way it looks, you're getting more presence than that 33 millimeters would suggest on the wrist. The one change that I don't like on the A158, that's something that you pick up when you pick up a 168, is the backlighting. The 168, it's got the beautiful electroluminescence backlighting. It's a full one. It's gorgeous. This one, you get that kind of green LED that they're going to on a lot, and there's no afterglow. So we'll show a backlighting shot. I'll include it here. But you could see it's nice. It gets the job done. It's not like the old F91 where you could barely see the right-hand side of the display, but it's just something without afterglow, it's just not the same as the EL. And I don't know if that's a power saving measure. I don't know what it is, but for some reason we've moved away from that. And Casio on the 158 includes the green LED as opposed to the amber one. That's fine. Functions pretty basic, right? Not a lot going on here, but then again, $21. You know what are you possibly looking at? Let's take a look here. You got time, you got alarm, you got stopwatch, and then we're going to set our time. That's basically what you're looking at on the A158. Now, that's not a bad thing. $21, that's pretty much what you're going to want. You're going to get stopwatch functionality. Would you have liked the timer maybe thrown in? Yeah, but I don't think that's something that I'm going to eat Casio's lunch about. Now, the most important thing, and the reason why I think you'd pick up one of these, I absolutely love the aesthetics. I usually don't like gold, but something about the stainless steel and the silver and just that kind of gold face with the very 80s and 90s stereo writing on it really appeals to me. It looks phenomenal on the wrist. It just, like I said, it has more of a presence than the small size suggests. It goes with everything. You can wear this to a formal event. You can wear it bowling. You can wear it playing sports, tennis, whatever it happens to be. This watch will not feel out of place. And normally, I mean, I think the same about the A168. However, with the black, it looks a little digital. You might get it, whatever. You might feel like it doesn't quite fit into every situation and every scenario. This one, that little touch of class that gold has, it's just beautiful. I think it fits into that night out, that formal occasion. I don't think you're going to ever look out of place no matter what you're doing when you have a 158 on your wrist. Clasp is fine. Everything on it is great. Let's go ahead and put it on live so you can go ahead and see it on the wrist, because that's something that I think really sells it to me. It gives you a little extra than you'd think. And it has the easy adjustment clasp. We'll go ahead and show that. Easy adjustment, I should say that. Basically what I use is a SIM ejector tool and kind of pry that up and adjust it. So you're not fidgeting with links or screws or pins and collars or anything like that. So that's something that's relatively easy. But go ahead. We'll zoom the camera back out for this so you can see the wrist shot properly. But you see what I'm talking about? I'm going to get the other one out of the way. The ABL 100. That's going to get its day. But you see what I'm talking about? I have a 7-inch wrist. Okay? So yes, is it smaller? Absolutely. Does it look completely out of place on my big wrist? Or I don't know if that's big enough, but on my medium-sized wrist? No, I don't think so. And I don't think anybody that's around you is going to think that as well. I think this looks fantastic. I think it has a lot of functionality for that. I think it carries a lot of pizzazz with it. I think it's a conversation piece. It's got a retro look, but it's also got a timeless look to it. And when you're talking $22, roughly all in, that's something that's very, very, very hard to beat when we're talking about value and we're talking about Casio. So I wanted to go ahead and do a quick one on this. I'm sure maybe Prime Day, they're going to have some deals on it. You never know. Prime Day usually throws a couple bucks off. But, I mean, how much cheaper could it possibly get? So just enjoy this. Look at that styling. Just absolutely gorgeous. And if you're a retro fan, if you're a child of the late 80s and early 90s like I am, then that design certainly speaks to you because it's just a very digital look, but it's that like when quartz watches first came out, you had the kind of the classy element to the quartz watches, and they were expensive. It just feels like a throwback to that. It feels like a throwback to those first Casios and Seikos and whatever else when you were spending big money on quartz watches. This is what they did. They took kind of that stainless steel aesthetic and they built it around the digital display. And unlike the ones that have the black there, I feel like the gold is more of a callback to that. And it softens it just a little bit on the wrist and makes it less of a digital experience and more of a hybrid between the digital and then kind of the analog feel of the watch itself. But super thin, easy to wear, super light. You're never going to have any issue with that. And like I said, I really like this design of Casio bracelet. It pulls at my hairs a little bit less than some of the other ones like this guy, which is a massive offender, but it's still pretty nice. So if you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.